Well, good morning from the cottage farmstead. Today is the day we are getting cows.
Huzzah!
So you probably saw us a month and a half ago. We were prepping really hard to get the fence done, and we were hoping to get some cows from a farmer friend, but it just didn't work out. We weren't ready in time that they needed to sell theirs. So Farmer Nathan and my dad have been shopping around for several weeks trying to find another source, and then my mom remembered that someone that she works with keeps cattle on the side. And so they went to check them out 2 weeks ago, and they're going to be perfect for us. They've been grass-fed and on hay with some of Joel Salatin's methods for the last several years, and he's been breeding this particular Angus to be great mothers. And what else are you breeding them for?
Yeah, so great mothers. The bull that he has been breeding is also not so large, so the calves that it produces are also a bit smaller. So those genetics should be passed down to the mother, so that when it comes to breeding, we'll just be sure to have a smaller bull for our breeding program.
So originally we were planning on getting 3 steers, but we're having trouble finding steers available, especially in the spring because it's a popular time to need more cattle on your land. So this person had 3 heifers. We weren't planning on getting breeding stock this year. We were planning on saving up and investing in it, but it was actually a really good price for these heifers. So we're going to keep 2 of them as heifers that we're going to breed. One of them should be able to be bred sometime later this year, and then one of them we are going to raise for meat.
And that one for meat should be ready to harvest this fall, which is great because we're wanting to get this land to work for us as soon as possible. But those 2 heifers then will be a longer term investment for calves that hopefully will birth either fall or spring, not sure when it will. It all depends on when the cows go into heat. And at that point, we'll be able to start the cycle of having a continuous stream of meat to support our families.
So after the first round of steers fell through, we kind of slowed our pace on getting ready for cows, and then we found out yesterday that they're coming today. So we are doing the final little bit of prep to get ready for them today. So as you can see, Farmer Nathan's about to rinse out our stock tank because it's gotten full of pollen the last few days. We've also been collecting step-in posts every time we go into town at Tractor Supply. We should have enough now to manage our rotational grazing for the 3 heifers.
So this particular reel we got from Premier One. It's a 3-to-1 gear ratio, which from what we've heard from like Joel Salatin and Greg Judy, you really want to make sure you have a good one along those lines. And it had great ratings online. And so far, we've been very happy about it. So we're literally learning about this reel in real time, no pun intended. So it's been fun to just see the different features it has. Like I was like, oh, I wonder what this black thing is. And it has this little slot in the front. Then I was like, well, I guess that is the guide. I should have been using that when I was feeding up the reel just to keep it in line with the spool itself. A couple of times, just because of how fast we were reeling it up from the spool that it came from the manufacturer, it get bound up around here. But now that we know that's the guide, we won't have that problem anymore. So to get power from where the Energizer will be, which is our well house over there, we bought this double insulated wire which will eventually bury. For now, it'll just be on the surface until we have time to do that. But today, for expedience, we will just get it hooked up to the Energizer. We already have power over there. And then this, we just use a wire clamp to hook it up to our high tensile wire, which will run around the field. And
as you might be able to see behind me, there we have yellow clips all along the T-posts. Those are insulators that just snap on real quick. Now we have enough for about 1/3 of our field. We plan on running it the whole part of the field eventually, but since the cows are coming today, we are trying to get as far as we can and have enough paddocks for a week or 2 while we finish the rest of the field. So one of the questions I'm sure a lot of people get asked, and we were probably going to start getting asked too, is like, how do you know what size paddock to do? We actually don't fully know for certain. We are going to be learning as we go, but we found a rule of thumb that we're going to be using on a blog post. They were originally doing it for sheep, but they were basing it off of cow days, so I just borrowed their math for cow days. And it was about 1320 square feet per cow per day. And so that's the number that we're basing it off of. So we're going to try and make our paddock square, rectangular-ish, keeping that square footage in mind. So we'll need triple that for each paddock each day.
There are a lot of environmental factors that affect that. Is it summer, winter, spring, fall, etc.? Because your grass grows at different rates. Right now we have beautiful forage, so we think that is a good starting point, and then we'll be able to gauge, are they doing well eating all the forage that is available, or do we need to tighten that up a little bit? One thing that is helpful is we've also spaced our posts 10 feet apart. So it gives us a good measuring tool right where you can see the insulators. Very easy to just count the number of insulators across both the length and the width, and then we can calculate the square footage there on the fly. So we got the fence up, as you saw in the last video when we were working on this project, and we also installed a gate. This gate is a bit longer than what we were anticipating, hence why it overlaps here, but it was free, which free is a great color. What we did with this particular orientation is when we get like moving the cows from one side of the field to the other, when we open this up, it blocks the driveway. Which means if we have that gate opening up this way, we create a natural chute so there's no way that they can get up the driveway or towards the house. By free, I mean we bartered. So my dad had some of these gates on his property that were not being used. They were just by the wood side. And so we went ahead and traded this for a quarter of the deposit for the heifer that we'll be harvesting this fall. So we love it because with cash being tight, the less cash outflow, the better. And that's where we love bartering with our neighbors. So I'm thinking it's about 80 feet from the corner to where we're going to be bringing the cows in. So we could just go 100 feet this way, tighten it up a little bit, and go 80 feet this way. That gives us 8,000 square feet.
It's supposed to be pouring the rain all day tomorrow. We decided to do a 2-day sized paddock for their first one here, so that we don't have to worry about moving them in the cold and the wet on their second day here, getting used to us. And then we did another 2-day paddock because I'm still working off farm. So we have another 2-day paddock, which allows us time to set up the following paddock between our work schedules. All right, so we figured out our paddock setup and what we're gonna do for the first few days while they're here. And now it's time for us to get the electric wire that's gonna be going around the perimeter of our field set up. Like I said earlier, we were only doing about a quarter of the field this first time around because we don't have enough insulators to go all the way around yet. We miscalculated. We were planning on doing about half of it and then we changed our mind. So we are going to do just part of it, and we can just run our poly braid wire out to wherever we need it because we have enough on the spool. So we are going to get started here. You got the first one hooked up to the insulator and you're just going to start walking and hooking it up.
On these insulators, you're able to do a figure 8. So I did a figure 8, which enables you to tighten, put some good tightness on this. So just did that for the beginning, left a pigtail so then we can wire crimp it with our insulated wire that's coming here.
And just in time to play with electricity, my parents have arrived. They are both electrical engineers, and my dad worked as an electrician for many years, so this will be quite in handy as we get the electric fence set up.
So we got an outlet here for the Energizer. We're going to try to mount it up high so then we don't have to come in here to see that the indicator light is going on. We just look right through the window. So, and then we're going to drill a hole down over here, put our grounding rods on the exterior, and through that same hole we'll also put the insulated wire, which will give us and feed the power to the electrical fence over towards the paddocks.
All right, you see Nathan's heading over there. That's our shade and windbreak that we have. We are planning on building one similar that's going to be mobile, but for now we'll have it stationary and just move the electric wire around it. We also have gotten our water tub there that we need to fill up, and our salt lick is down here as well. So we are almost ready. We just need to hook up the insulated wire to the high tensile wire that we have out here, and we'll have power to the fence. So we're almost ready for the cows.
I was over at Ace Hardware picking up some additional tools for the project today, and saw this right here. I was trying to brainstorm how to make it quick and efficient for taking the poly braid wire on and off. So I grabbed this alligator clip, which should get onto the hot wire just fine. The problem is the poly braid wire won't fit in there. So I'm going to use a jumper, use this in here and crimp it. Once that is crimped, I have a larger crimp sleeve, which will go with the poly braid wire and this that I'll crimp together. And that'll create conductivity all the way through, and then make it very easy as we're moving the wire from place to place. Just use this little clip as needed. So with the crimps, you have a flared side of it and an unflared. I like to use the flared to snake through whatever wire filament you have first, and then go ahead and do this after that. Once you have that, make sure you have plenty of contact with both, and then just simply crimp that together. Then do a stress test. That shouldn't come off. And all we'll need to do now is take this, attach it to that, and we should have power, ladies and gentlemen. We got ground hooked up. That's for the fence. Everything's hooked up out there. This is on a GFI.
So we were getting ready to hook up the power for the electric fence to test it, and we learned that it cannot run on a GFI circuit. So we are going to swap some outlets out real quick so that we can get the fence running.
Take two. Oh, you can hear it. Let's go out and test it. Oh, it's maxing it out. You can hear it. That's also hitting at 8,000. That's amazing.
Hey, sweeties. So as you can see behind me there, they've arrived. My mom's coworker was able to haul them over here for us, and we really appreciate it because we don't have a trailer yet, even though my dad has a truck. So he was able to haul them here. They're from about 40 minutes away down south of us here in Anderson County. They are healthy and happy, and they are thrilled with the grass. They weren't even interested in the sweet feed we put out for them. They were much more interested in the grass, and they actually really liked the salt lick. So I don't know if they were missing a mineral or just hadn't had salt yet today, but they were loving the salt lick. They are still very skittish of us, which is to be expected. They're away from the larger herd that they were a part of. Their moms aren't around anymore, so they're still getting used to here, but we are looking forward to making friends with them. Two of these cows are going to be our breeding stock, and one of them is going to be for meat, so we're only going to name two of them. We've decided that we are not going to name anything that we're going to eat, at least in the near future. So we're still trying to come up with names. If you have any suggestions, you can stick them down in the comments down there, as we will be deciding on names coming up soon.
Well, a picture is truly worth 1,000 words. I mean, we were sitting over there on the log just watching them. I felt like I was in the best movie theater ever. I also found the first cow patty. It is so exciting to watch this land, the green, now come to feed us. The land is working for us. So thank you for joining us today. Stay tuned. I'm sure we'll have many, many more videos with the cows in the future.
And if you want some photos of the cows, they're going to be all over Instagram for a while, so
yes.
You can follow us at Cottage Farmstead.
We'll see you next time.